Alrighty, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the BXR podcast. Today we have Nade Straight joining us, talk about all good things, AI and everything else related. I mean, he's got some video game thoughts too. But yeah, so we got a lot of topics coming up. I mean, obviously the Xbox showcase is this weekend. Plus, there's some rumors, some Halo rumors. So we'll get into all of it. But yeah, before we do, what's up, Nade?
What's up is recently, I guess you could say, I lost my job. So that happened. And as a
Congratulations.
result, thanks. As a result, I guess you could say part-time YouTuber at the moment. So a big shift in my life happened recently. Um, Other than that, life is pretty much the same. Still doing game development with Cross Planet, although there was a bit of a rocky, month. But we're still doing that. I'm still doing freelance graphic design things on the side, and still making YouTube content. But yeah, that major event happened in my life, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Is
yeah.
the development of Cross Planet, is that like back on full time to what it was before you hit that rough patch?
No, not really. It's like it was an agreement between everyone to work on the project again, but much more passively would be the best way to describe it.
Okay.
As it became essentially a full-time job for many of us unintentionally. We became way too invested on the business side of things, discussing things like monetization before we even had core gameplay loops down. And that's ultimately why it ended. There was disagreements on, what was supposed to be the focus and what was important to implement at the time. So we said, let's slow things down, all in agreement. Let's, do this as a passion project again. For argument's sake, let's say maybe an hour or 2 hours per day rather than 8 hours per day, which is what we were doing before. Essentially, we were treating it like a full-time job. So it was quite demanding, quite
Right.
stressful. So yeah, we've
Mm.
gone back to a passion project in our free time, which is what it was supposed to be.
Do you still have
Yeah, that makes sense.
like a targeted release date, or is it just kind of when it's done?
Absolutely not. No.
That's fair.
The
Yeah.
target release date was in about 2 months' time, which is absolutely not happening. We've decided to scrap any kind of release date, scrap any kind of like expectation for what we will release with in terms of the amount of content and things. The current focus is simply let's make a demo for the game, which we're hoping will happen around the time the game should have released, and it will essentially be our vertical slice where we'll say like this is the stage we're at. Everything we have in this small slice is very polished, and then we'll decide where to go from there. Because we used to have a habit of implementing a ton of things and trying to make the game this grand thing, but everything was kind of half baked. So now we've said strip it back, do the vertical slice where it's small but polished, and we'll just go
Now,
from there.
are you still like doing the demos that going to be PC only then, or are you still thinking about doing a mobile like type demo? Are you going to cut that?
The demo that's happening hopefully soon will be PC only. Mobile is still in development, but how do I word it? It's in sync with the PC version. They are one in the same, basically. Any changes that happen to the PC version also happen to the mobile version, as they run on the same project. Like we make changes to one, it happens to the other. The easiest way to describe it would be imagine a mobile game that got ported to PC. That's essentially what the game has become at this point. So that's a good thing. We don't have to make changes twice. It just all happens, at once. So, but the demo will just be PC. So
All
yeah.
right, that's fair. Well, cool. Well, before we hop too deep into everything with what's going on with you and all that good stuff, one of the first questions we like to ask our recent guests is what's your opinion on the recent state of Halo?
Um, God, I feel like it changes on a weekly basis. um, Currently, I would describe my opinion on the state of Halo as that content was ended too quickly. I know they still release things, but let's be honest, it's just shop updates and maybe a game type here and there. I think Halo is in a very good state, and they just kind of, just kind of left it. They got to the stage where everyone wanted it to be, where we all thought it was content complete, and they said, "Okay, guys, let's go work on the next game. We'll leave the 30 people remaining to go continue the small updates on Infinite." And I highly disagree with that. I think they should have continued, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, it looks like, I mean, before some of the rumors today, I was just gonna have us speculate if we'd see Halo, but we actually have a topic to talk about a little bit there, so we'll hit that. But before that, why don't we talk about? I mean, obviously you already did your video, so I'm not gonna have you like rehash everything. But how's the AI situation treating you? So if you guys don't know, basically Nade Straight was working as a graphic designer for a company, and effectively AI sort of replaced him in his position. Now it's different verbiage, but basically you got like a severance in the UK, whatever they call it there, and now you get like some money, and then eventually you have to find a new job. So how rather than like rehashing like about how it all happened, how has kind of been like the aftermath of that? Like how's that been treating you? Which obviously probably isn't good, but
Yeah, there's ups and downs. It's very conflicting at the moment. On one hand, obviously, losing your job is never fun, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But in my situation, I feel like something was salvaged out of it, or something was created out of it, because obviously, as a result, I made that video. The video, I don't know if I can say it went viral. I don't know what viral even is these days. Is it 1 million views? Is it more? I don't know. That's up for debate. But the video currently has almost 1 million views. And as a result, I made a full-time income from YouTube last month. So I guess I was a full-time / part-time YouTuber for, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks, which is, it's something like a silver lining out of the situation, I guess. So yeah, it's ups and downs. I hope the YouTube thing goes somewhere, although I'm not banking on it. It will just be a case of, try and find another graphic design position at another company over the next few weeks, months, and fill my spare time with, with YouTube and see where it goes. There's no harm in trying both.
yeah. So let me ask you this. So you had a video, it looks like if I peek here, sitting at almost 850K. So obviously that's pretty banging for a long form video. What has been, well, one, I can assume you probably didn't expect that to happen. But since since it popped off, what has been like your strategy afterwards? Because I feel like, if I had a video like pop off that much, like I'd be trying to figure out like how do I make this a thing, right? How do I continue the momentum? But what's kind of been your thought process toward that, or what have you been? Yeah, kind of just what have you been thinking on that front?
Yeah, I've been very much struggling with this, and I've had YouTubers reach out. People like Mint Blitz messaged me, which was pretty cool. A couple other channels. I think there's one called something Intelligence. It's an AI channel. They messaged me. I had a guy who does like 3D renders in Blender and stuff. He's got like 60K subs. Message me as well. There's been tons. And they all say very different things in terms of what I should do. So it's all very conflicting. And then the new audience is also very split as well. So it's a difficult thing. I've had people that say, continue the exact same thing you were doing before this happened. So go back to doing the Halo videos and other gameplay commentary stuff. And then I've had other people say, in their opinion, they think I should lean into the AI thing and become an AI news reporting style of channel. So it's very much like, a split audience. So I've been trying to cater to both. And ultimately, I'll easily say this, I think I have failed, because I would describe the past few weeks as me being a flash in the pan. My YouTube graph, it's a straight line where I was before. There's a hill, and then it goes back down again, and now it's flat again. So I think I've had my moment. The views that I'm getting now are still higher than what I was getting a month ago, but not to the extent of which I obviously, secretly hoped for after I saw the one video boom. So I'm struggling with it. I want to do the gaming content and stuff that I enjoy, but I also want to please the new audience, and it's just it's a difficult situation to be in. I think I have to decide over the next few weeks or something what content my channel will focus on, rather than trying to please everyone. As a lot of you probably know, a channel that tries to do all the things isn't really going to be successful. Most channels are known for like their one area, their one niche, So I think I have to pick my thing sometime soon and try and focus on that.
I think that's one of the hardest challenges, right? When you have all of these people kind of rally behind you when you kind of go through something in life, and they want to support you, so they sub, they like, they comment on that video, and they show out, and they did show out for you. Like it was really impressive. Like it was cool seeing everyone rally behind you. But the problem is, do these people actually like the kind of content you're making, or and it's hard to balance that, because you have all these people sub or whatever, and then they don't watch the next video. So it's like, are you really helping someone out? Like, you're helping them for a video, but you kind of need to continue that support, else YouTube or whatever you want, however you want to look at it, will be like, oh, all these people sub, now they're not watching this content. Do we want to push these videos now or whatever, because they're not clicking on the video? So maybe the video's bad, even though it's not bad. It's a good video, but it's like it almost confuses YouTube on what to do. Like, the algorithm is this weird mythical beast that you have to try to please constantly, and stuff like this. As much as it helps a content creator initially, it could also almost backfire in a sense. And you've kind of seen that with a lot of people over the years. So it's definitely a tricky situation that I do not envy. Like, I definitely wish you the best of luck. I'd love to see it work out for you, but it's definitely something that's going to be hard to navigate. And man, I don't know. It's something else.
Yeah, I think you described it perfectly, and it's the same when it comes to the ad revenue side of things as well. Because the channel is so split now in terms of content, I was speaking to a few people, and they said your CPM will be really low, because if you do different styles of content and you're selecting a different category every time, whether it's gaming, entertainment, news, whatever, that fluctuation is going to make YouTube be like, whoa, we don't know what kind of ads to place on your videos, so we're just going to give you the bottom of the barrel because we don't know what to put on there, and therefore your revenue is low. And that has been the case. I'm at like a $1 CPM, which is quite low. So that's unfortunate as well. As I've heard, some people who make gaming content can get 4 or 5 times this. It's disappointing to see that I could have made, let's just say I could have made 4 times what I did. I'd be in a much better position.
Yeah, I
it sucks.
I think mine's like $4 per 1K, but also, I mean, I think my last 3 videos, the average length is like over 30 minutes, so it's kind of skewed too.
Yeah, mine
like,
a bit shorter.
length goes into it too, because it's how many mid rolls can you slap in it. So it depends, and I think like game to game also varies, which obviously like I don't fall in that category because I don't like make single game content anymore. But I've heard like certain games have higher CPMs than others. But yeah, I don't know. Man.
I also
YouTube...
speculated that. I was going to say that I speculated. I think I messaged you about this whole thing. I speculated that because they have AI in the title and things, maybe YouTube is like, oh, we don't like that. No, low CPM. But I don't know if that's the truth or not.
There's a lot of AI shovelware. So speaking, we'll get into it. But yeah, YouTube's hard, man. I feel like these days YouTube channels are kind of like shoehorned into one thing, and you have to kind of do. If you have one thing do well, you kind of have to just keep rehashing it, and that's what you see with like channels that are growing, is they kind of just do. I mean, you spins on the same thing, right? You can't just put the same video out over and over, but like same topic, same like genre. But in your case, I don't even know what I would recommend. Like, you can go into like news AI videos, but that's not necessarily like the same as like making a video about losing your job to AI. And so it's like, in your case, I don't even know how you follow that up.
Yeah, that's the exact situation.
Take the L, I guess.
Like, I can't, I said it to I've been very transparent with my audience around the whole thing. And I said, like, guys, I can't rinse this situation for my life. I can't make a living out of complaining that I lost my job due to AI. Like, it's not going to happen. I can maybe milk it for 5, 6 videos. I did that and then said, okay, it's time to move on. Like, I'm going to do other stuff now. And unfortunately, it hasn't translated, converted, whatever you want to say. The people, as you say, they're not watching. Some of them are, but as it was said earlier, I think I don't want to insult my audience, but ultimately, I think some of them, through no fault of their own, could be doing more harm than they are good. Because, as you say, they click on the videos, let's say, they leave a like, they comment to support me. And from what I can see, they do those things to show support because of my situation, but they don't watch the content. So
Yeah.
that's negatively impacting the video because YouTube cares about retention very much. So I've looked at my past, let's say, 10 uploads, and within an hour of uploading, they'll have, let's say, 500 to 1,000 views, which is good for my channel. They'll have 80 to 200 likes, which is really good. But the view duration will be a rough, like, maybe 20 to 29% retention rate, which is not amazing. And it's much lower than the video where they all came from, the replaced by AI one, which has like a 50% retention. So YouTube definitely sees that and thinks, oh, they're not as interested in the videos prior. So it could be having a negative effect. But to no fault of their own, they probably don't even realize they're doing it if that's what's happening. So yeah.
Well, you
trying to figure
see,
out
this is what you need to do. You need to start your own podcast, and then once a week interview someone else who lost their job to AI, and then you could just infinitely milk this for as long as you want to.
That was a suggestion by someone in the comments, and it's the one thing I haven't tried. Out of all the things that have been suggested to me, someone said go back and do Halo or other game commentaries. I did that. Someone said do like life stories, talk about other things that happened. I've done that. Didn't work. Someone said do like longer format gaming videos where you do like reviews or video essays. Tried that today. Didn't work. So the only thing is interviewing people who've lost their job.
I will say with like video game video essays, you gotta give them time to cook. Like those, as long as you're not making something that's topical, those can like pick up steam like way later on if the topic is good. And sometimes like I've made video essays that'd be like a 10 out of 10, and then like 6 months later they're like 200-300K. So like those you kind of have to give time because they have to find their audience. Whereas if you're making like topical gaming videos, if they flop on day one, they're just kind of dead forever.
Yeah, see, mine was, I don't know if you guys have played it, but mine was on a game called Vanquish, which came out like 14 years ago. So it's not a trending topic at the moment.
Yeah, so. I remember the name, but I don't know if I ever played it. It's made by Platinum, right? Or however you say their studio.
Yeah, Platinum and then published by Sega.
Yeah. I remember watching videos on it back in the day, and I remember people really liked it, but it's kind of like an action. It's like action combat combined with like a third-person shooter a bit, right?
Yeah, it's the way I described it was
Titanfall.
I described it as a game that pretty much revolutionized shooters without many people knowing. It has a very let's say cult audience, but it implemented a lot of advanced movement things that we see in games today before the big games had them. Whether or not they were copying or taking inspiration from Vanquish, I don't know, but I would assume that many probably have. So that was my way of describing it as a game that inspired many games to come.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
I mean, gaming's pretty derivative space, so it's very possible. So it seems like once a company does something well, like 10 more pick it up and do the same thing, right? Rinse and repeat until everyone's sick of it. So
yeah, I mean, recently I've been seeing an absolute ton of hero shooters pop up. It's like every week I see a new one.
I thought we were done with that shit like 3 years ago. Why are we getting the second wave of hero shooter slog? Yeah. We have the Valve game coming out. There's that Star Wars game that just came out that's on like Switch, and I think it's a mobile game. There's the fucking there's the Marvel game that came out.
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. There's Concord. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. And then there's Concord that's coming out like whatever this year or whatever. Like, dude, out of all those games, if I had to pick one that I won't hate, it's probably the Valve game, just because usually I like Valve games, but I am over hero shooters. I just don't care about them. And
as much as I agree, I think Concord could be good, just because of the designers behind the game. Were the ones that designed the Destiny multiplayer. Like
Con-
actually making it so they only focus on multiplayer. They might actually cook a little bit with Concord. Like I'm not gonna write that game off yet. I mean, do I think it's probably going to be bad? Probably, but I have a little hope in it. Like I'm not gonna just say it's bad because it's a hero shooter, but obviously it very well could be. But I actually have the most hope for that game just because of the people behind it.
I mean, that's fair, and like we haven't seen much of it besides what they showed at the show at the State of Play. But dude, to me, it looks like budget Guardians of the Galaxy meets
Guardians of the Galaxy.
meets Destiny. And I'm also confused because they said they're going to put out like a weekly story beats. How are they going to put out like a weekly cutscenes?
I
That
have
sounds
no
insane.
idea.
Like that seems like they're going to end up underwater. But yeah, so I don't know. Also, like hero shooters. I mean, X Defiant came out recently. That one falls like a bit more COD-like to me. That one's more like COD with abilities than it is a hero shooter. But Nate, I know you've been playing a bunch of X Defiant. What do you think about it?
I have. How do you know that I've been playing it?
It's the background footage for like half your videos.
Oh.
So I just make the assumption at that point.
Yeah, I've been playing it. I've been playing it mainly because a group of friends picked it up, though. I haven't been playing it like purely for myself. I might have played it for like an hour or two by myself. I played the betas and stuff, and I don't have COD. I think if I was a COD person, maybe I wouldn't have played X Defiant. But it very much reminds me of like a, let's say, Black Ops 3 era of COD, which I really enjoyed. So that's mainly, I'm playing it. I have friends playing it. It's the social aspect. Reminds me of old COD. So yeah, I've been playing it. Overall, I think it's a good game. Has a couple of connectivity issues, but what game doesn't these days? I mean, look at the desync we had in Infinite. So yeah, it's nothing spectacular, but it's also not bad. I think it's one of those games that will just coast along in the middle. Obviously, we don't know what the player count is because it's not on Steam, but I think it's just it's just middle of the pack game. Enjoy it for a few hours a week. That's it. There's nothing really bad to say.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. I played it for a bit, with buddies. Like I didn't play any solo, and it's all right. It's an okay shooter. I think the biggest problem with X Defiant is right now. I think its biggest selling point is that it's free. But later this year, Black Ops 6 is going to come out and it's on Game Pass. And I know that's not the same, but like I already have a Game Pass membership. So for me, I know I'm paying for the membership, but like it's effectively free, right? So if I'm choosing between, Black Ops 6 or X Defiant to me in a lot of cases just feels like cheap COD, but with no SBMM. But in all honesty, I feel like the novelty of that one ran out for me pretty fast. Like, oh, it's cool, but at the same time, a lot of my games, like, I mean, I guess last time I played, I did go on like a pretty long winning streak, which isn't something I would ever do on COD. So I guess that's kind of fun, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about how do you feel about no SBMM? Do you think it's been the saving grace that everyone's been begging for? To me, I don't think it really is. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing, but after playing that game with no SBMM, I don't think SBMM is as big of a problem as people make it out to be.
I mean, I've never had a problem with skill-based matchmaking. I know everyone's like, "Oh my god, every match is so hard. I can barely win." But you know what? I just think people need to understand that just in general, players across the board are just better. Like they're just good. There's these little 14-year-old kids that are just going nuts. And it's like I don't even know how they're that good at that age. Like it's just insane. It's like any other sport. Like I know people don't like comparing video games to sports, but people just evolve over time. Everyone's just getting better at everything. I mean, it feels like when babies are born now, they have electronics in their hands. It's like they're just programmed to know what to do with a controller in their hand, what to do on a phone, what to do on a computer. So it's just like everyone's just evolving to just naturally have like that skill set of just being more mechanically sound in all of these different games. Like people who would be like, oh my god, that accuracy is insane. And I was like, oh, everyone's that accurate. And no, it's not just because of aim assist or anything like that. It's just people are just evolving and they're just all good. Like the standard player is so much better than what they used to be. Don't get me wrong. There are still those people who go like negative 18. Like I got a friend, he plays Halo almost daily, and he somehow still goes negative 20 every match. I don't even know how it's possible. He has like 10,000 hours in the game, and he just sucks. But outside of people like that, it's just I don't know. It's a wild west out there with the skill that's just on the rise, and people need to accept that people are just better.
Yeah, I will say that's definitely something I agree with because
Did I fix it? Did I win?
you're back. You don't appear
Welcome
to be
back.
echoing, so I guess we'll see if it starts echoing.
Okay. So stupid. God damn it.
But yeah, I feel like when I used to play COD back in the day, I feel like you'd see so many people in your lobbies that were just like total noobs, right? But when I play X Defiant, my whole lobby is slide canceling and air strafing, and like there's no SPMM, so I think just everyone does that stuff now. Like it just
That we know of.
except for when I was accidentally queuing the playlist that did have SPMM and I didn't realize it. So
I mean, who's to say there isn't SPMM? We're told there's not. But no, it does. That definitely seems like a lot of people in that game are sweaty. But that could also just be the type of people that are playing that game. I really don't buy the whole idea that it's just everyone's gotten better. I mean, yes, some people have gotten better, some people get worse. And what about like the new gamers, like getting into gaming for the first time? Why would they just be naturally skilled at games?
in the
It just doesn't
womb,
make
they were
sense.
just training. They were just training to be cracked X Defiant kids, dude. I don't know, man.
Right.
Fucking explain it. When I play those lobbies, they are sweaty as fuck, and there's supposed
know
to be
they
no
are.
SPMM. So I'm apparently the shitter. But like the things that people are doing aren't what your average like dude on the couch does. Like,
Well, yeah, I think it's one of those things. though.
I see that too when I play, but I just the game could have SPMM and they're just telling us it doesn't.
Maybe.
Or it could just be the type of people that are playing that game.
I do also wonder if it has since it probably has less mainstream appeal, if it's more of a hardcore like arcadey shooter audience that it's picked up, and really the only people that play it are people that are like disgruntled with COD or with Halo or with whatever other shooter they play, because it definitely, I mean, it's an arcade shooter, an arcade respawn shooter in the year 2024, made by Ubisoft that basically had no marketing. So like, I feel like the mainstream appeal probably isn't huge. So most of the people playing it probably are a bit
I've seen
more
no
hardcore.
marketing for the game. The only reason I know of the game is because like YouTubers played it or I saw like social posts.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one piece of paid marketing material for that game. So I think it very much is like it's a niche game that people who are flooding down from COD or other games are playing. I think you pretty much.
I'm gonna be.
you pretty much
I don't know
that.
if this is like a hot take. I think like the huge marketing spends, like the traditional spends that we think of, like big trailers and like commercials and stuff. I think that shit's outdated, man. Like, I feel like we've seen so many games pop off in the past few years just because they're good games and they go viral on social. Now, X Defiant has not gone viral on TikTok, so that it falls into the same thing, right? Like, it's not everywhere. But think of the games that popped off this year: Power World, Helldivers. Like, those weren't games with big marketing spends. They were games that were, or like Content Warning and Lethal Company, like last year. All of these were just games that just went viral because like so many people were posting like funny clips or like posting videos, or a bunch of streamers were playing them and stuff. And I feel like that leads more to game success these days than your traditional like marketing spends. Like, obviously big IP franchises still have like name value. Like Call of Duty every year sells well because everyone knows about Call of Duty, but I don't think it's like the Call of Duty trailer on TV that does it. It's just the fact that everyone knows, hey, once a year they release a new Call of Duty and I show up and I play it, right? Because like, a lot of people said like, oh, Xbox didn't market Hellblade 2 and that's why it kind of flopped. I saw commercials for it. I just didn't give a fuck. Like, I saw marketing for it. I just didn't want to play the game. And I feel like a lot of people probably saw ads for it on Twitch or on TV or like on social media, and they just ignored them and just didn't play the game.
no one cares about Hellblade 2. Even like viewership for people who did videos, like some people I watch who would it'd be like an automatic 100,000 views on their video, right? And it's like 15,000 views on their Hellblade video because it's like no one fucking cares about that game. Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad. It just literally no one cares about that game. Like it's just it's absolutely amazing how that game is just like obscurely faded away so fast.
I think
Like, I don't know.
it's aggressively mid in like all of the wrong ways. Like the first game, I feel like popped off as this like artistic piece, but it was still very niche. But at the time people were like, "Oh, this is so cool. Like it's a video game that tackles the topic of like mental health and all that stuff." And people like thought the premise was really cool. But at the end of the day, like the game, like there was gameplay in the game, but that wasn't what sold people. It was the atmosphere and the topics of the game, right? So here comes the second game, right? And you're expecting it to take like a leap forward, like, all right, we're still gonna hit those heavy hitting topics, but we're gonna have a video game, right? And they have less of a video game, and at that point, I feel like people just check out. Like no one cares. Like we play video games to play games. And I know like walking simulators and all that stuff exist, but this isn't even like. I feel like usually those walking simulators exist because they have like cool narrative branching stories, but this doesn't even have that. So like you basically just walk through a game and it's like walking through like a 5-hour movie.
I mean, hey, this is the biggest problem to me is like the first 35 minutes you don't really do anything in the game. Like no story really develops, nothing happens. You just you the ship crashes, you climb a cliff and you walk for 30 minutes and then you get a sword and then there you go.
Yeah.
Now you get to walk a little bit
Reminds
more.
me of how people described Death Stranding.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but
Hey,
I feel
at least
like
that has gameplay to it.
yeah, that I feel like that had like the gameplay was boring to some people, but it had a gameplay loop. Like I don't when I've watched a little bit of Hellblade, like I don't even understand. You have like these little 1v1 combat sections every once in a while, and besides that, you kind of just walk around while people talk to you. And I'm like, dude, I'm not sitting through this for 6 hours. I saw someone tweet that only like 10% of the people that started the game finished it. And like, that's not unheard of for a campaign game, but I feel like for a game that's that short, that's pretty bad. Because I bet if you compared that to like Modern Warfare 3 from last year, which maybe I'll pull that up in the background while you talk, I bet Modern Warfare 3, which was a shit campaign, has a more like a higher completed percentage.
Well, and this is the problem too. I seen someone try to compare it to people finishing a Halo campaign, right? Like, oh, well, the numbers for like the classic Halo 3, campaign, it was only such percent. But I'm like, how many millions of people play that game and then finish that campaign compared to we don't even know what the numbers are for Hellblade. I feel like I definitely don't think over 1 million people played Hellblade 2. I just do not believe that in any capacity. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't see it at all. Like it's just not even remotely comparable. Like that game is it's too niche. It just didn't do what it needed to do and no one cared about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind the game. I liked it.
All right, I will say I stand corrected. According to True Achievements, only 3.4% of people have the achievement for completing MW3. But I will say, I think this is fucked and skewed because of the way that they make every Call of Duty game now a DLC of the previous Call of Duty. So I think this is taking into effect everyone that had also played MW2 that didn't even touch MW3. I could be wrong, but so maybe at least Hellblade, I guess people finish it over MW3. But MW3 was an atrocious campaign, so it's not a high bar to beat.
Yeah, honestly, Hellblade's better than that trash. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, I finished MW3, dude. PopQ is so proud of me. He saw me finishing the game, dude.
I mean, they're about the same length. So what do you do?
All right. Well, PopQ's back, so I was holding this topic until he came back because I figured, well, maybe he'll want to talk about it. If he doesn't, then I held it for no reason. But today there's been some rumors flying around that we might be getting a Halo CE remaster anniversary edition squared. So first of all, I want to say I don't understand where these rumors are coming from because I clicked the article from Tom Warren and it doesn't mention it. So either I'm stupid or this came from a different source. But
yeah, Yeah, I had the same experience. I think I clicked the article and I'm like, where does it say this?
It doesn't.
And,
It's not even mentioned. So I
Yeah.
don't understand where it's coming from, but let's just go with the assumption that this is at least a rumor worth talking about. How do you guys feel about Halo? I don't even know what to call it. Halo CE A.
I mean, they're
I
saying
think it
it's
makes
I think the rumor is it's a remaster, but it could be a remake or a reboot of sorts. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not something I was expecting. I doubt this is just like I don't think they're trying to do Halo CEA again. Like, I don't think they've recognized that CEA wasn't a good remaster and they're trying to do it right this time around. It could just be like a reboot of the series and they're going to release it on PlayStation. I mean, I guess. Who knows if it'll just be campaign or if it'll be multiplayer as well. Who knows if it's even real? But it's definitely interesting. I'm not getting too excited about it at all. Actually, I'm not really paying much attention to it until it's confirmed, and then even then, like, there's really no point in getting excited about it, considering how how Halo's been doing in recent years. But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I feel like the only thing that makes sense is if this is a Resident Evil style remake of CE rather than a remaster of the existing CE. The only way that this even makes like feasible sense to do is if it is a true remake of the game, because like you said, there's no way that, I mean, they probably have seen the discourse around CEA, but like, just because it was kind of a shitty remaster doesn't mean you do it again. Like, how much better is CEA 2 going to be, right? Like, maybe the art style is a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the same game, same exact story, same exact gameplay, same exact bugs, same exact fucking like button combos, right? The only way this makes sense is if it is truly a reboot, or not a reboot, truly a remake of CE, like they've done with Dead Space, like they've done with Resident Evil, where it's from the ground up. It's maybe it's on Unreal Engine, maybe it's not, but it's a new video game, but maybe it follows, like the design philosophy of CE and like the like the story and all that stuff. But I also feel, I don't know what you guys think, but if you were to remake CE, I think you have to redo a bunch of those levels. I don't think you can just put a fresh coat of paint on them and call it a day. Like, a lot of those levels are shitty by modern standards. Like, you backtrack a ton. The library is horrible. Like, if you released a lot of those levels as is today, that game is going to get bashed. Like, the reason that I feel like CE doesn't is because it came out in 01, and we respect that the game came out when it was on an original console, and it was like one of the first truly decent feeling FPS games on consoles. So like, kind of gets a pass for, having some reuse in the campaign. But I feel like in a way that when I played the Dead Space remake, I felt like it didn't do that. I think a CE remake, if it was if it followed it 1-to-1, it just wouldn't work. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I definitely think they're going to be doing a remake, like from the ground up, and I think it makes a lot of sense because I know there's been rumors they're working on multiple Halo titles simultaneously, and honestly, if they're trying to learn to make Halo work in Unreal Engine, why not start by remaking CE? You already have all the groundwork, you know the story, you know the levels, you can tweak stuff, you can add enemies, add weapons, expand upon it, get like that first taste of understanding how to make Halo work in Unreal Engine, and then you make the new Halo game. Maybe you then do Halo 2, then the new Halo game comes. Like, it's just a good way to kind of build that foundation. And also, it could be a great way to introduce, Halo to PlayStation. If the newest Halo multiplayer game is going to be actually, fully multi-platform on all systems, maybe it'll even work on the Switch too. Who knows? This is the perfect way to bring in a new audience without, diving into a multiplayer experience and just absolutely flopping that like you've done so many times in the past 10 years. Like, this is a just a good way to introduce new people to the Halo universe, get old fans excited, and it's also a way to kind of gauge classic gameplay once again. It seems like they're so scared to do it. Well, maybe the next Halo game, they are going to go with a classic style gameplay, and by doing these older Halo games in Unreal Engine first, it's a way to gauge the way people kind of respond to that gameplay. If they have a blast in campaign with that classic gameplay, who says, okay, maybe they do want a multiplayer classic experience. And obviously, if you do just the campaigns, you could just do 4-player co-op or whatever. Add in like the skulls and stuff, and add in like some different features to make it a fun co-op experience without worrying so much on we gotta make multiplayer work. Like I definitely don't think they should touch multiplayer at all if they're doing Halo 1, 2, and even 3 in Unreal Engine as like remakes. But with the newest Halo game, definitely, you're gonna have to have multiplayer with it. But I don't know. I just think it's a good way to build up to that, and I think it'd be very smart. Now, obviously, are they going to do that? God only knows. Like it's 3 for 3. I have no faith. I want to, but I have none.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like I see a lot of people that don't want it on social media. I also see a lot of people asking if it should have sprint, but I think like the potential for this decision it's through the roof. Like you said, you start from the very start of the story. You don't have to rewrite the story like this. You don't have to reboot the franchise, but you start from the start of the story. You modernize the game a little bit and you bring it to everyone. It's on PC day one. It's on PlayStation day one. It's obviously on Xbox. There's going to be so many people that will hop in, and this might be their first Halo experience ever. Maybe they've only heard about it over the years, and now rather than shipping them MCC where they are truly playing a title from 2001, you can ship them a modernized Halo game. It, like you said, probably should just be the campaign. Probably just give them a Halo campaign that's done really well, 6 to 8 hour experience. You get them in, they play it, and then they wait. Maybe you reboot 2 and 3 eventually. Maybe this is just a build up to the newest Halo multiplayer game. Whatever it is, I do think this is like the potential is through the roof. But like you said, it's 343. So,
I think that the potential is there. However, I think there's a trend with 343 where they release their own game, for example, Halo 4. And if it doesn't do well, they backtrack and go and remaster a previous game. And then they make Halo 5, and it doesn't do too well. So they backtrack again and go and remaster another game. If they fail to remaster a game a second time over, I think it could end very badly for them. I think they're treading in very dangerous waters. Like, they have to get this right. And I feel like we've been saying that about 343 for a couple of games now. Like this is the one. They have to get this right. But I really think that, if they were to mess up a remaster for the second time over, everyone's going to be like, okay, there's no hope for this studio. They're never going to get it right. So I think, yeah, the potential is there, but they'd have to nail it out of the park if they do it. It's very dangerous. So
yeah,
just add sprint. See, we'll be fixed, right?
Sprint and like some big anime skins in the campaign. I think that's the key to success.
I also wouldn't trust them not to mess it up too much, because I mean, look at the reaction to what they did with the Halo TV series. Like, if they pull something like that with a complete, like you said, if they do go for the option of a reboot or even a remake but incorporating new things that people don't like, that could end very badly as well.
Yeah, how willing are they to stay true to Bungie's design, right? How are there things they're going to want to change that they think are better but won't to be enjoyed? Who honestly knows, man? But yeah, I don't know. All right, so that's kind of been the rumor today. So my question before that rumor came up was, do you guys think we'll see Halo this weekend at the showcase? So, do you guys think we're going to see this CEA thing, or do you think we'll see anything else at the showcase? The other rumor I think that I saw floating around was they might just say they're working on the next Halo game, which if that fucking happens, don't care. Like,
and they already said that though, right?
I mean, like the kind of, right?
To that effect.
Yeah, something to that effect. But
I don't know. If I had to guess, the showcase, we might see something for Halo. I don't think maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards no. I don't even know if the CEA remake is even real. I'm not even convinced of that. So
No,
I think if we see anything, it'll be the certain affinity stuff. But I highly doubt we'll see that.
dude, I
either.
think that thing's got to be
I
chalked,
heard that
man.
was canceled.
They've had
Oh,
they've
what?
had so many layoffs. Like, I feel like that shit's never coming out.
I feel like the main focus of this showcase is going to be Gears of War. Like that's
As it
going to be
should be.
front and center. Like fuck Halo. Let's
Yeah, I agree.
let's just pretend that doesn't exist for a while. You guys just get distracted. I think we're going to see Gears of War 6. We're going to get the collection. We're going to get Gears of War 6 going to be like it's going to come out next year. 2025 collection is coming out this year. We're going to get Avowed with gameplay and a release date for this year. We're going to get Indiana Jones with a release date this year with gameplay. We're going to get Towerborn Shadow dropped. I made a whole list of things I think are going to happen. I think
What about
Towerborn's going to get
Fable?
Shadow dropped. We're going to hear about the Xbox handheld. I'm going on a tangent here. Perfect Dark, Fable, State of Decay 3, they all get mentioned. And then Doom will get mentioned. And then finally, Xbox is going to do something with a lot of RPGs from the Xbox 360, whether they're remasters or remakes, or maybe it's a backwards compatibility thing. They're going to do something with that because there's been a lot of rumors around that. And that is my list. Basically, Gears of War is back, baby. It's better than ever. We need to get excited. We don't need to play Halo anymore because we're going to be able to jump in Gears 6. It's going to be
I
a
don't think
revolutionary
so.
gameplay mechanic. And people are gonna go nuts for it, and then hate the game like 1 week later, and talk about how they ruined it.
So
So that's what's gonna happen.
I actually recently played Judgment multiplayer, and you can't like jump per se, but in Judgment, you know how in Gears, if there's like a ledge or something and it looks over, you just can't go over it, right? Like you're just like stuck. In Judgment, you can just jump off that shit. Like it just lets you, and you just take fall damage. Like I thought
I saw that video from you.
that was so weird.
I saw that.
Like I forgot that that's how Judgment worked, but they won't add.
I don't know.
jumping
Judgment
to
did make
Gears.
some changes that I did kind of like. It wasn't really Gears.
It was
but
like
I
third
don't know.
person COD of Gears, like because it had like the two weapons. You like the control scheme was
Yeah.
very COD-esque. It's an odd game.
Yeah, it definitely
But
did
did
some
you
things
enjoy
that
it?
wasn't Gears, and I do think Gears should be Gears, but I do think some people actually like those changes. And I was never like a huge fan of like Gears of War's gameplay loop. Like the multiplayer to me, it's just wall bouncing around with a shotgun, and like that's it. Like kind of not too interesting. But I pretty much play Gears for the campaign, so I
Yeah.
will welcome a Gears 6.
I will say, in all honesty, the only part of Gear 6 that I think I'd be excited for is the campaign, and maybe like whatever PvE mode they add with it. I'll probably like play a little bit of multiplayer, but I'm not like, especially if it's traditional Gears multiplayer, I'll play it a bit, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's kind of just like the same dudes wall bouncing off the wall for like 15 years, and it's just like, I don't much, but I'm very pumped for like a campaign. I think I haven't played, I've never beat 5, but like all the other campaigns are like super good. I've been replaying all the old ones, so I'm ready to go for the new Gears game, dude. I'm pretty pumped about it. But I do think I think based on what we're seeing, I think Jared, that one's probably like a surefire. I think we see it this year at the showcase, and it makes sense based on like when 5 came out and the fact that they stopped updating it. So I think we'll definitely see Gear 6. I think the collection would also be really cool, especially if they bring it to PlayStation, because I don't give a fuck about the Xbox platform. So, like, bringing the big Xbox IP that's been stuck on that console for so long over to other consoles, I think is awesome. Whether it's Gears or Halo or, like, all those IP, I think it just gives them the chance to flourish in a way that, like, I know Gears is on PC and Xbox, but if you've ever looked at the Gears numbers on PC, they're atrocious. So, like, at least on Steam, it's a Game Pass game. Those are always skewed. But I think it'll give, like, that franchise, like, a good second shot at being, like, very popular and live again if it has all the PlayStation players. That said, though, they kind of need a collection. Otherwise, hopping into Gear 6 is going to be really weird. So I feel like for a move to PlayStation to even make sense, they have to do a collection. Because, like, what are you going to do? Hop in fucking 6 games in and be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, they can drop the collection with that brand new handheld that's supposedly coming, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
PSP thing.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
that's
the
just gonna
future. They
be.
need to just copy the Switch.
It's gonna be some stupid xCloud shit, man. Like, and I just don't care about xCloud. Like, it just runs horribly for me whenever I try it. Everyone that tells me that it is like input lag free and it works well, I just don't
No.
believe you. I just don't believe you. Every time I try it, the input lag is atrocious. The resolution constantly descales to like 180p so that it doesn't lag, and you're just playing like a blurry mess with like a second of input delay. It's horrible. But
Let them know.
maybe that's my fault for trying to play like Siege and Halo 5 on xCloud. So maybe I've cost this to myself. So I did play the GoldenEye game on xCloud, and that was probably the least atrocious of the games I played on xCloud. But I got lost on the first level, and then I forgot that like fucking N64 FPS games they're old. And then I got off. But you were talking about Perfect Dark, Jared. I would love to see Perfect Dark. I just don't. I think that game is just in perma dev hell. Like, I think it's chalk.
I think it's overblown how bad it is, because when those reports came out talking about how bad the game was doing, and then like 1 week later it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's not as bad as we made it out to be. Maybe it's fine. Like, I think we are going to see gameplay for it with no release date. Like, and then next year it'll probably come out in 2026. That's what I'm going to assume at this rate.
I'm over trailers that don't give me a release date, man. If you're gonna show me a trailer, that bitch better be coming out in the next year. Otherwise, just like show it to me next year at the next showcase.
See, I saw you say something about that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like if it's not coming out between this showcase and next showcase, I don't care. Like, by the time it comes out, either with the way that gaming goes, it'll get canceled, it'll get reworked, it'll get delayed, it'll end up in dev hell. Like, so many of these, and Xbox isn't the only company, but so many of those original Xbox titles, Perfect Dark, like they revealed that they're working on these things, and you just have no clue if they're even like coming out. I mean, Fable falls into that category too. Oh, maybe that one
Elder
seems
Scrolls
like it's
as well. When was the last time we had an update on Elder Scrolls?
when we saw the splash screen looking thing.
I don't know, it was forever ago. You know what? To actually build upon that too, I watched like 6 hours of indie game reveals. And can I just say something to a lot of indie devs? When you make your logo for your game, make it readable. Please to God, make it readable. I understand you want to be creative with your the way your title looks, but there are so many games I saw earlier today, and I could not read the titles on the screen. Like, I'm like, what does that word even say? I'm like, my face is in the screen. I'm like, I'm trying to read it. Is that an A? Like, what the hell am I looking at? Just make it a little more legible. I'm trying to wish list your game. I can't do it if I can't read it. Like, please, come on. Like, just
So
a
funny
little
you
more
said
clarity.
this. I had the same situation with a game that I saw post that game to what do we call it? X these days? No, we don't. We still call it Twitter, don't we?
For sure.
To that platform, and I commented saying like, "Hey, your logo, it looks cool from close up, but at a distance, it's not legible at all. I can't tell what it says. Therefore, if I see that when I'm scrolling through the Steam library stuff, I'm not gonna wishlist your game because I can't tell what it says." And I think it was something like I don't know, like tail safe or so, I don't even know because I forgot it because I don't even remember what it said. But yeah. There's the same thing you said. Some people put like graphics behind their logos. Like, I think this one had like a coffee cup behind it or something. Just have it as text. Like, just have plain block color text that looks somewhat like some kind of like simplistic corporate design, because at least it's legible and I can tell exactly what it is. Like, yeah, there's too many.
They gotta hire you.
Yeah,
They should hire you, a graphics designer.
You gotta start
especially
consulting.
since I need work.
Yeah.
That's the Cross Planet logo is just Cross Planet in white text. There we go.
What you were saying, Rash, about waiting till waiting to reveal things until they're not to don't reveal games if they're not coming out until like the far distant future. Like, I've always felt like personally I rather know what's on the horizon, even if it is several years out, just because at least then you can get excited about it if you want to, if you are going to get excited about it, or you just have an idea what's coming. But a lot of people do have the opinion they don't want to hear about a game, they don't want it to be revealed if it's not coming out for several years. But
I mean,
I'm the opposite.
We're also like we're all chronically online, so like everything gets leaked anyways. You know when a company's working on a game, right? I don't need you to post like a CGI trailer or like those Halo Infinite trailers, the 3 years before it came out that they ran at E3. What good did those do for the game? We had one where like a deer walked across the screen. There was like a rhino. There was Master Chief picking up a helmet. Like,
yeah, I just don't think they were the best trailers. I didn't mind there being a trailer at that time. It's just that weird engine demo thing they did in like 2018, 2019. Yeah, that wasn't a great. That wasn't a great trailer for Infinite. But I would prefer having a trailer over nothing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean,
it's fair.
But no, a lot of people feel the same way as you.
Glorified announcements that they're working on a game.
I guess some people just can't control their excitement, and like they don't want to get excited when something's not coming out soon. But
it's not for me. It's not that. Like I can like look at something and be like, all right, well, I'm not gonna be excited about it. It doesn't even have a date. For me, it's just like they reveal things that just never fucking come out. Like, I think I'm just burned by so many of these Xbox titles that just they get revealed with like some CGI or a splash screen, and then they just go like radio silent on them for the next 3 years, and you're like, why did you tell me about this game if it clearly was not ready or having a shit ton of issues? Like, I think that's what bothers me more.
I mean, they are. I know some of them do it so they can start hiring devs to help with a project because they can't do that until it's officially announced. For whatever reason, because they're worried about leaks that usually happen anyways. Even though there are cases where there are no leaks, like Hi-Fi Rush. No one even knew that game even existed. It somehow never got leaked, and then bam, there it is. So, I mean...
And now look what happened to them, so maybe they should have leaked it.
Now they're shut down. Jesus.
I'm just kidding, but yeah. Unlucky for them. But hey, at least Xbox opened a new studio. So Activision's got a new studio over in fucking Poland or whatever. that's supposedly working on a new IP, but we all know that means that shit's getting canned in 3 years and they're going to become a COD support studio. Like, there's no point. We don't even have to play the game. Just make them a COD support studio now and we can just call it a day, because every time Activision has a studio, they cancel all their cool shit and just make them a COD support studio again.
EA used to do the same thing with their sports titles. There was news, I don't know when it dropped, but a while ago it was mentioned that the team working on Mass Effect Andromeda, back when that was being developed, like half the team got pulled to work on FIFA at one point. And it's just like, that is a completely different genre of game altogether.
It's because they were having issues with the Frostbite engine, right? And they needed like help with the sports games, because
every game was made using that engine back then.
That was a good decision on their part. I think that really worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, Andromeda was great.
I mean, all the games of that era that were forced on a Frostbite were great. So, Battlefield.
The first Dead Space was made on the same engine as a Tiger Woods game or something. So, you know.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's on like some weird ass engine.
Yeah,
no one's ever heard of, but yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of. Oh, I guess.
Did anybody? Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say the other big thing that I hope we see is Doom. I want to see whether it's Doom or Quake or whatever the heck it is working on, man. I hope they announce something. I'm ready. I'm ready for a new id game, dude. They're probably like.
Oh yeah.
I feel like at this point, id might be the studio I have the most faith in to like put out a banger, because I can't think like. I mean. Infinity Ward and Treyarch, like Call of Duty every year is just kind of like fucking slop that they feed me, right? And then there's like, what other good studios have put out like repeated bangers that I would care about? You know, Jared's probably got his. I mean, FromSoft is probably the GOAT, but like I just don't. Elden Ring isn't my shit. So like for me, it is that, right? Like they put out like cool ass FPS games. The past two have been amazing, and I'm pumped for the next one, dude. I have high hopes. Plus, I'm gonna go play Doom 3 soon, and then maybe I'll change my opinion.
No, a new Doom.
But you're not allowed to be excited about Doom because it's also coming to PlayStation, and
I don't.
You're betraying the Xbox brand.
The other ones were on
That's true.
PlayStation, but also
And you
I've-
No,
were
we
they?
don't. We don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We don't talk about that. They're also on the Switch and they run like shit.
dude,
So,
Doom,
you know.
Doom 2016 on the Switch. The footage looks so good. I love it. And like, if you're ever curious how great the Switch is, look up Apex gameplay. It looks like
it's like
someone
20
like,
FPS.
dude, and there's no textures. It looks so fucking bad.
It looks like everything's just like potato. That's,
I
yeah.
love it. I
Well,
love it.
Don't a lot of the pros just lower their graphics settings anyway, though, on PC?
Yeah, but not that bad. Not to the degree of the Switch. You could go like all low on PC versus the
And it's
Switch
still better.
settings. Oh, it's like the Switch settings remind me of those people that make those YouTube videos where they go into like the control panel and they fuck with all
Oh,
the
yeah.
textures. That's what it looks like. But
The Switch 2 better be better. Like, the Switch makes me mad. Like, I like playing Resident Evil games on the go on the Switch, and I hate that, like, you get, like, those combo packs with, like, Resident Evil 0 and 1, and one game is on the cartridge, and the other one's a download. It's like, god damn, they can't even fit 2 Resident Evil games that take, like, 4 hours to play through if you know what you're doing each onto one cartridge. It's like, damn. Come on, Switch 2. You just give me a little something extra, please.
I feel like Nintendo loves their like proprietary like things to put games on. Like the N64 had the fucking cartridge. The GameCube had those little baby discs. Like they love these weird ass things to put games on instead of just using a normal ass disc like everyone else.
They got to
But,
do it different.
I mean, I guess in the Switch's case, like it does make sense. Like, how are you gonna stick a full ass disc in that? But I
Hey,
don't know.
PSP.
Yeah, the PSP had little baby discs, and they came with like
Yeah.
a little plastic like protector. And if the
Yeah,
you
protected them.
couldn't just put the disc in. You had to have the stupid ass plastic protector too.
You gotta protect them. You know, you're getting all sweaty. You're dropping the PSP. I mean, you know, you got to protect those discs.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved my PSP. Despite the fact that I feel like there's no games on it that I remember playing that were like amazing, but I just remember spending so much time playing like off-brand racing games on it. Like they weren't actually off-brand, but they were just a shittier version of the console version. But I still just loved it. Like I remember playing the Midnight Club that was on the PSP for so many hours
Yep.
on it. But I remember I tried like a Ghost Recon game once on the PSP, and that wasn't it for me. But there was the PSP was awesome.
I always wanted a PSP. Never got one though. But
Too
oh yeah,
bad.
I was gonna say another when you were talking about like studios that you have hope in. I mean another obvious studio that I think's had a great track record is Bungie. Yeah, they've had their fair share of controversies, and Destiny isn't for everyone, but I mean they do have a good track record. So, I don't know if there's any game that I would have hope in. You know, I kind of feel like Marathon, would be that game.
I'm cautiously optimistic about Marathon, but also I didn't talk about it recently, so that's got to be like years out still. Because like I feel like if Marathon was coming anytime soon, it would have taken that long ass Concord slot. Because they, like, I feel like people would have a lot more hope in Marathon than Concord. But
Right,
hey, maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong, and maybe Concord will be the game of all the Destiny PvP kids' dreams. They'll all finally get off Destiny, and they'll make all their builds in Concord, and everyone will be happy because you don't have to do, like, fucking hours upon hours of PvE just to get your exotic. So we're all ready
Did
for
anyone
Concord.
play the new expansion
I did
for
not.
Destiny 2?
I haven't downloaded it. I haven't. played
Really?
it yet.
You downloaded it? You haven't played it yet, Jared?
No, I've been playing a PS1 game. I'm busy.
You
Did
got to
play
get
it?
raid ready for tomorrow. What are you
Oh
doing?
my god, the
I saw
server
the-
was
You
shutting
gotta
down
defeat
every
the
other hour.
witness.
The
Oh
witness.
yeah, the
is
server
off right
issues
now.
were crazy. But
I thought you
This
said
is
the
from-
wetness.
Well, that too.
Or
that
that.
was pretty crazy.
that works.
I'll be his judge later. He'll be fine for now.
So, Pop,
No, I
did you
was,
play the new
I thought that-
expansion?
I didn't, but I've watched a good amount of it. I typically watch Destiny. That's what it's a fun game to watch, especially the raids. But that I just don't feel like that that expansion was it. I mean, that's like the final expansion to
Don't
wrap
say
up
that.
this light and dark saga. And I know you haven't played it yet, so I'll, like, avoid like spoilery stuff. But I've watched a good amount about it, a good amount of it, and it just, I don't know. I just feel like they needed to come harder than that with the final expansion of this saga. The Destiny's like biggest expansions I think were Forsaken and the Taken King and Destiny 1, and from what I can tell, this does not live up to that. And right now, like, the story isn't, the campaign isn't all there right now. There's going to be like another mission after the raid, but I still don't think that excuses what's there in the game right now. And I've been hearing a lot of people just their opinions on it is it's just kind of okay. And that's what I thought. It just looked really underwhelming.
Yeah, I'll
So
be
you're saying I spent $50 well, or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
it's $50. Like, I mean, the Taken King and I think Forsaken were $40, and they were like
I
these
mean,
huge expansions.
Shadow of the Erdtree for Elder Ring is like $40, and it's like 70 hours of gameplay. So I'll see which one is worth more.
Let's yeah, I haven't seen much about the new Destiny expansion, honestly, PopQ. I kind of just haven't cared. Usually I show up, I play the campaign, I don't finish it, and then I just wait till the next expansion, but honestly at this
Right.
point, I think I can finally just like save my money and be done with Destiny until either like Marathon comes out or they make a Destiny 3 and I can like re-engage in it. But for now I think I'm done for now with Destiny, but Jared, you mentioned Elden Ring. Recently, they put out a bunch of info on it, and I'm sure you watched and read it all. So tell me, how do you feel?
I didn't watch anything because I don't
Okay.
want to be spoiled. I've
All right,
just
well, fair
read the
enough
little
then.
bit, but to me, it sounds absolutely fucking epic. I mean, 100 new weapons, 10 main story bosses, endless side bosses. Like, it just everything about it sounds perfect. Everyone's basically saying it's like Elden Ring all over again, stepping out and experiencing this world, and it's probably going to be the best thing I play this year, and I haven't even played it yet. But I cannot wait to play that damn game. It's just I'm ready. I can't wait to get this video I'm working on then, so I can go play Elden Ring to prepare for it. Like, probably a bad mindset to have, honestly, while working on a video. But I don't care. God damn it! I'm so fucking excited for Elden Ring, all over again. Like, man, is it June 21st yet? Nope, not yet. Damn it.
Well, Nate, what are you excited for from the showcase? What do you want to see? What do you care about?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I would hope for, as we said, I would hope for Fable, and I'd hope for gameplay, not a cinematic trailer. But I might be asking for too much. Fable's a game that I played, in my childhood. Haven't obviously played it for a while. Other than that, like the obvious ones, like yeah, Gears, maybe Halo, but I doubt we'll see it. I'm not too optimistic about the showcase. I think it could be I don't know what you guys say, a doobie. Is that a thing?
That is a thing. You're learning your
Yep.
American lingo.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could be like, maybe 5 or 6 new games, maybe a couple ports or something, and then Phil Spencer comes out and he's like, Xbox has a bright future, some crap like that, and then he just walks off and it's over. I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up for it.
I mean, if
But
we see Gears, Doom, and I think Black Ops 6 is going to be there.
That's
if we
there
see
for sure.
those
They confirmed that.
If we see
Yeah.
those three, I mean, for me, I think that probably like puts it above like the last several showcases, honestly.
Well, and there's nowhere we're not going to see Avowed and Indiana Jones. They've already been announced for this year. Just they didn't have dates yet, so we'll get more gameplay on those, and then like probably confirmed dates, I would assume. So I mean,
I think
I'll
I'm just
be
less interested in large like AAA games these days because I have no interest in basically any of the games that were mentioned, other than the possibility of Fable, Gears, and Halo. But the other one's just I haven't played COD since I haven't played COD since the first Modern Warfare remaster. So when was that? That was a while ago.
Damn.
I don't know.
I think
That
that's
was
the
like
last time I played too.
2016 or 17.
That was a
Yeah,
while
that's-
ago.
Like 8 years or something. I haven't played COD in a while.
But that's
And
actually my favorite
then
COD.
You're missing out. You can play as a Gundam now with a beam saber. So
Oh my
I saw a
God.
video on that and I thought it was Fortnite, and then I was like,
No.
wait, this is COD?
COD is Fortnite now, brother. It's one and the same. They
Did
Yeah,
you?
I see all
Yeah.
these crazy like skin packs in Modern Warfare 3, but like I never actually see them like in gameplay when like I'm watching people play the game. Like, what does that shit even look like? Like,
well, I
that's
was
gotta be
watching Nade Shot earlier play with the Gundam skin, and basically you see your little Gundam arms, and then he had a beam saber. So, I mean, you don't see the rest of the skin. So,
I saw someone playing it in third person, unless that was just like a theater mode thing
there
that
is-
you can do.
there's one of the sometimes they do like third person modes, but he was just playing regular COD. But yeah, it is kind of funny to me because COD tries to do the Fortnite thing where they have like all these skins from different IPs and stuff, but 99% of the time all you see is your arms. So I don't know why people like
Yeah.
there was the Warhammer skins recently that I looked at and I was like, that's kind of sick. And then they're like $30 or $40 to never even see them. Like you're just buying them for your teammate to look at.
The Homelander skin from The Boys as
Yeah.
well. That one. It's like,
That one came with
what
a
do you
whole
see? Just a
event.
guy
See
with
it in-
blue arms. Like, great.
Well, the main menus now are your operator, so you see it there.
Oh yeah,
You
my
see it
bad.
when you do your like assassination.
I
finisher
fucking
kills.
hate the main
Worth my
menu.
money.
The fact that Black Ops 6 is rumored to be in the same Call of Duty package makes me tilted. Because that means I have to deal with that bullshit ass UI for another year. And probably forever at this point. Like, ugh.
The Call of Duty HQ.
Fucking hate
Yeah,
the Call of
download
Duty
those
HQ.
300 gigs.
Dude, every time I open it, I can't even figure out how to get to the game mode I want to play. You have to go through like a bunch of Hulu boxes, click like if you want to play like ranked resurgence, you have to click into, you have to like scroll down, go to resurgence, click in, back out, go to ranked. Like, hate the
No,
UI.
you're not wrong. The last time I actually tried to play COD, there were so many pop-ups, I just uninstalled it. I just fuck it, whatever. I got my refund, and they remember I was still able to try to play the game, like it still worked, but I uninstalled it because too many fucking pop-ups.
I was thinking about something I was thinking about recently is that like the UI in a game, I think that matters a lot more than some people act like it does. Like the user interface in a game can significantly improve or hurt the overall experience of playing a game. Like if it's bad, like I mean, it can make me not even want to play the game. I mean, Infinite, I multiple times when I've hopped on Infinite, I had to fight the UI to play the game. And then, like you mentioned with Call of Duty, it's just like it's so disorganized. It's Hulu. It's just not good.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I actively like the UI is a detriment to. Sometimes I just don't want to bother with it, so I just don't play.
Yeah, I think some people think it's like silly when you like critique like the UI because it's not gameplay, but it matters. It definitely does.
The partner to UI is UX, which is literally user experience. So, like, if people don't think that's important, then something is wrong.
Right. It's how you access different parts of the game, and like it's kind of important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our opinions on the Xbox showcase. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Do you guys think, like, I know you kind of mentioned at PopQ that this could be like one of their better ones in recent years. Do you think this is like, is it vital this one goes well, or is it kind of whatever at this point for Xbox as a brand?
I think it kind of is whatever. I mean, they could always bounce back, but I just I don't know. I think it's going to be like a similar thing as we see with 343. They've dropped the ball time and time again, but they still exist and they're still making games. So kind of think it's a similar thing with Xbox.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I don't know. It feels like there's no, I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's an urgency where if this doesn't go well, I feel like it's the end. It just kind of feels like Xbox is going to kind of keep fumbling around doing their thing. Now they have Call of Duty, which will probably do well on its own. Oh, how do you guys feel about COD being on Game Pass? Do you care?
think it's cool.
I don't care. I think it's fine. It has so many microtransactions. They'll make plenty of money. Like it's people act like it's the end of the world for them, and they will be just fine. I mean, they got a damn mobile game now that makes like 20 billion a year. Like I think they have money to waste. They can do whatever the hell they want. It doesn't even matter. Like I actually seen a rumor that now they are talking World of Warcraft is going to be a Game Pass thing. Like they don't care what the fuck they're doing. It's like, okay, we're making 500 million a month from Game Pass. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just throw that on there too. Who cares? Let's waste a little more. We'll write it off. No big
I-
deal.
I think that
You do think they probably
oh.
lose a little bit from putting it on Game Pass?
I mean,
don't think so.
No.
logically, they have to.
Well, I mean, they will, but at the same time, like what 60% of COD sales are on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's not like those are just magically going to go away. It's not like
Right.
PS5 owners are like, oh, I'm going to go buy an Xbox now.
No.
I mean, obviously, if they have a PC, they might subscribe to PC Game Pass, but how many of them are there really that are like, playing on
Yeah.
both systems? Like,
I was mainly
just
just thinking, just talking about Xbox, because it's either they lose money because it's on Game Pass, you don't have to pay $60-$70 for the game, or more people play it because it's on Game Pass and they spend a ton of money on microtransactions and they end up making more. But that just
I think
doesn't
that's
seem
more
likely.
likely.
You do?
I think that is more likely. Yeah. I think a lot of people have this mentality of when they receive a free game, they are more likely to buy a microtransaction because in the back of their mind they think, hey,
Mhm.
I got this game for free, so I can spend $40, $50, $60 on microtransactions and be in the exact same place that I would have been if the game cost me an initial, $60. So I think psychologically that plays into it a bit, and I think some games do very well that launch day one Game Pass. And I think that Xbox as a brand, this might be like, I don't know if controversial is the word, but I think that Xbox cares more about Game Pass as a brand than they do the Xbox brand. I think they're leaning much more into the PC market these days than they are the console market. I think that they're like really going
think
for
that's a
that
hot take
side
at
of
all.
things.
And actually,
I mean-
to build off of that a little bit, look at when they added the one Master Chief armor or whatever to Halo Infinite, and it almost shot it up to #1 on Steam sales because of one freaking armor skin in that game, and there's only like 5,000 players. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I think there was like 10,000 at that point, Jared. Okay, can you calm down?
10. Okay, whatever. There's probably like 30,000 different players throughout the whole day, but you know what? It's still the point. Like, if you give someone something, they're like, "Oh my god, I need that." They're gonna waste their money because they're trained to do it at this point.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna matter as much as people realize, because I think a lot of the people that are gonna play COD through the Game Pass have just been playing Warzone. Like, Warzone was free anyways. I think all this is gonna do is maybe more of those people like try out multiplayer at the start of the year. Whereas, like, I know, like, people, like, I have like real life friends that just don't buy COD multiplayer anymore. They just play Warzone. Whereas, like, this year, maybe they'll check out multiplayer before the Warzone update, right? But and all those people that are like purely free to play, like, they were just gonna play Warzone anyways. So I don't know. I don't know how much. Like you said too, a majority of the player base is on PlayStation, so will that even make a difference? There's a lot of people on Steam, on PC, but I also feel like I don't know how many of those people are like tapped into the Game Pass marketplace, and if they aren't, then they might buy it to play it for free to play it as part of Game Pass. So I don't know. We'll see. I just wish they would add the backlog of Call of Duty games so that I could be a boomer, but they're kind of being losers, so.
Right.
All right. Well, why don't we do this? We'll go around. We'll talk about one game that we've been playing recently, and then we'll leave. So, Jared, what have you been playing recently?
I have been knee deep in a 1998 classic Parasite Eve, which was made by Squaresoft back in the day. Same people who made Final Fantasy, obviously, and are now Square Enix. And it's going back and playing it, like, obviously I've played it before. That was like 20 years ago, but it's still, I forgot how good this game is. Like, this might be my favorite game I played this year at this point. Like, I've been having that much fun with it. I'm like, I can't believe how good this game is, how good the story is, because it's like based on a novel, or it's like a sequel to a novel. and like the person who like wrote a lot of the stuff for it was like actually like a scientist guy, like with using real world like logic when making the story, and like every aspect of this game is just so damn perfect. Like I really wish it would get a remake so freaking bad. Like I really do. Now it does have sequels. It has a second one, which is Parasite Eve 2, and then it had a PSP Parasite the Third Birthday, and those two games are very different. One's like a third person shooter, the other one's like a straight up Resident Evil clone, where the first one is like this weird turn based action RPG thing where like you run around like it's Resident Evil, but then like you have a gauge that fills up, and when it fills up you can then perform an action, and it's just a really cool unique experience that just, man, I don't know. I'll have a video coming out next week, so be ready. It's going to be a long one.
The gameplay on this looks like quite the video game.
Oh yeah, I mean it's very old, so not surprised, but
Crash doesn't appreciate
really
the classics.
No, I only play
He
boomer
doesn't.
games where you shoot things. I guess you shoot things in this, so maybe it's up my alley, dude.
Exactly. Don't worry. I'll be going down the boomer shooter lane sooner or later.
It's funny because I don't actually like fuck with the actual boomer shooters because they were all like, I feel like they were like late 90s early 2000s on PC, and I just like was a little kid. Like I played Doom as a kid, but that's probably the only like quote unquote true boomer shooter that I actually played. Like basically then I played some Nintendo like N64 games, and eventually I ended up with a 360. So but
Did you ever play Quake?
not as a kid. Like I played it later on.
Painful. I mean, I guess that's okay then. And then there's Unreal Tournament. If
The
you wanna
only
consider
the
that
only
kind of.
the only Unreal Tournament that I've played is the one on 360, and I picked it up thinking it was like a Gears of War game because the case looked similar, and then I was like really confused, and I launched it up, and it was like fucking first person, and it was an arena shooter because at that time I was not like tapped into video games. Like I had played Gears of War, and I was like, oh, Gears of War is cool, and then I was like at GameStop picking out a game. I'm like, Unreal Tournament, like the case looks really similar. And so I bought it, and it was not similar. Made by the same company, very different game.
Perfect.
But yeah, Pop Q, what have you been playing?
I have been playing X Defiant. I think you guys talked about it earlier. It's I played, I from the moment I played that game during like the test sessions before release, I thought it was a fun game. I'm having fun with it now, but I've mentioned this to you before. The desync in that game is just I'd say it's the worst, easily the worst I've experienced in any game. Worse than Infinite. The amount of times I get shot when I'm behind cover that you can't shoot through is ridiculous, and how far I am around the corner when I die is crazy. It's so common for my last shot not to register. Like I'll hit the shot, get the hit marker, does no damage. Like there's been multiple games that start off like this, where I'll die behind a wall, die behind a wall, die behind a wall, shot won't register, die behind a wall. It is atrocious. Like it was like this during the test sessions as well, but since I've been playing more, I'm noticing it more, and I just don't know how much longer I can play the game when the desync is like that. Especially like when ranked comes out, if it's the same way and I'm just dying behind walls, like yeah, I'm not really here for that. So it's kind of making me hate the game. Like if that wasn't an issue, then I could see this being a game that I play long term. But not when the desyncs like this. It's just too much.
So
You know what game I've never experienced desync in? Cross Planet.
That's true, dude.
I'll have to check that one out.
I did die to a person like on top of a giant wheel though a bunch, so it took away some points for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Cross Planet.
Yeah. It was like a giant wheel on one of the maps, and someone just got up there and was just farming me. So kind of a skill issue.
Was it a satellite dish by any chance?
What?
What was that?
Was it a satellite dish by any chance?
Oh yeah, it was a satellite dish. That's what it was. Yeah.
That got removed. Don't worry.
Oh hell yeah, dude! See, I'm back now. I'm back, baby.
And two of like some of the, like something like a lot of people like and I enjoy about X Defiant is the way the movement feels. It's it's fast, it's responsive, the gunplay's cool. Uh, uh, there's it's typically a longer time to kill depending on which weapon you use. I think like the headshot multiplier is like crazy and it seems like you die instantly. But the longer time to kill and the movement, like I feel like I can't even really appreciate that when I'm just dying behind walls anyway. And like people can completely miss their shot but still get the kill. So it's like I can't even use that movement and the time to kill to my advantage because I can just die behind walls like every death. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I honestly haven't been playing it recently. I think the last time I played was like a couple weeks ago. Whenever we played last, that was the last time I played.
Mm.
But I've also not really been playing multiplayer games very much, so that plays a part in it. Nade, what have you been playing? What have you been enjoying?
Well, I would have said X Defiant. However, I think I'll go for something else. I've been playing a bit of RoboQuest lately. I think I've stacked up like maybe 8 hours over the past month on it, which isn't, it's not like a record or anything, but it's enough. So yeah, having lots of fun with that. It's actually the first game I've played, which is a roguelike. It's my first like dive into that genre.
Oh, okay.
So my first playthrough of it, I played for roughly 20-25 minutes. And then when I died and found out that I have to restart from the beginning again, I was like, oh, it's like that. And it got me intrigued. And I've been doing several runs of that game. Obviously, you keep your like stats and things every time you die, so it gets easier and easier. You get more abilities, power-ups, higher leveled weapons and things. So every run, you get a little bit further each time. I'm enjoying that. It's something new for me that I haven't experienced before. So I did a video on RoboQuest as well. So yeah, that's the current game that I'm playing the most. I've been playing a ton. I had a goal this year to not complete, but get through my gaming backlog. I'm sure a lot of you have a gaming backlog as well. Falling into that trap that I'm sure us three fall into of playing the same game for like several years in a row, Halo, and not experiencing anything new. So I had a list of games that I wanted to get through. And I think I'm at 27 games played this year so far. So I'm really rallying through them.
You're gaming.
Oh yeah.
I am not spending
that's what it's all
a
about.
long time on them, but I am racking through the games. I'm only spending a few hours on each, but it's good.
Yeah. No, my Steam backlog, well, it doesn't actually grow very much anymore because I stopped buying games unless I'm gonna play them. But it's quite full of older games that I should play that I bought, but I haven't.
Yeah, I think mine's like 74 games or something, and I was like, damn, I need to get through some of these because I only play like 5 of them.
Yeah. I feel like when I try and like dive into my backlog, I feel like guilty when I like load up a game and I don't finish it. When it's like that. When it's like a new game and I don't finish it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But if it's like an older game I hop back into, I feel the need to finish it. Unless I just like hate the game. That's different.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I didn't finish a game at this point.
I used to be like that. I used to have to like finish if it's story one, finish the campaign or whatever. But now I'm just like, I got so many games I need to get through. I'm just gonna spend somewhere between 5 to 10 hours on each one, and then on to the next one, just to play them and experience some things, get a new perspective on some things, and just kind of I guess educate myself on the gaming world a bit more as well. Because for a long time, Halo is like all I knew, and I fell into the trap. It's weird. It's like I felt somewhat I don't know if the right word, but like somewhat anxious about diving into a new game, and didn't do it for so long, and now I just like, no, I'm doing it. I'm diving in. So I'm playing all sorts of games now that I would never have played before, like 2D side scrollers, top down games, the roguelike stuff. I'm playing mobile games, just anything I can get my hands on that looks interesting and is also cheap or free.
Hey, you can make an Epic account and you can start redeeming all the free video games.
I do, and I never play them. I feel like that's what everyone does.
I don't even redeem them anymore because I never would load it up to play them, so I just stopped. I was like, this isn't even worth the effort.
I I download them all. I've used like 2.5 terabytes or something. I've just never played them.
You just have a hard drive full of games.
Yep. Literally, I downloaded Ghost Runner the other week when that was on.
Ghost
I
Runner's
haven't
fun.
played it. Yeah, I need to play it.
That's a good one. I didn't play the second one, but I played the first one, and then I started the DLC, which I don't know, maybe I'll go back to. But no, it's fun. I will say though, like toward the end, it's probably like a 6 to 8 hour game. Toward the end of the game,
Okay.
I was glad it was done. Like I kind of got my fill, probably about like the halfway mark. But I still I pushed through and finished it. Like it wasn't unenjoyable, but you do kind of the game does progress as you go because you unlock new abilities and there's like there's new enemy types and there's some boss fights and stuff. So it's not like it's the same game for the whole 6-7 hours. But I felt like even though they add more variables in, it's still very samey throughout the whole thing. It's like a high octane parkour, one hit you're dead style game. And honestly, I don't know, toward the end, I was just kind of over the combat because it's just it's not gimmicky per se because it's how it's supposed to work, but I guess I don't know how to explain it. It's toward the end, I was kind of over it.
Just a bit repetitive.
Yeah, basically, because I just found myself kind of doing the same combos over and over so that I wouldn't die. So maybe that's my fault for not forcing myself to try and play differently, but yeah, I don't know. Alrighty, well, I think that kind of does it for the old pod. Appreciate you for coming on, Nate. It's fun having you.
No worries.
Jared, you already mentioned it, but you're working on a video, so we'll skip you. You're working on a video for Parasite Eve, the game that looks. I'll watch the video. Maybe it'll intrigue me to play it. I will watch.
I think you'll enjoy the video.
I'll watch the video.
Please watch the video. It's very different. I'm putting a lot of time into it, kind of.
Good. No, I'll watch the video. I won't play the game. PopQ, are we still a shorts YouTuber, or did we give up on that arc?
No, we're working on it.
You edited a 20-minute Twitter video. What the fuck was going on? You subtitled it.
Wait, no. Because I listen. I wanted to reply to people, and instead of just replying to a bunch of people, separately, you just make a video. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It was in
a
vertical
20-minute
format.
video, yes, but there was a lot of stuff to address.
Yeah, but you said people don't like sprint,
I mean,
right?
I think that same day you uploaded a 45-minute video to Twitter. So what the hell?
That was a YouTube
45
video.
minutes? Who the hell's watching your 45-minute Gears video on Twitter? No one.
It's a fair point.
Okay.
I have no argument for that.
Okay, that's what I thought. So leave me alone. Anyways, I'm still working on shorts. I got a couple scripts, written, finished. One recorded, so I should have a short out tomorrow, and then there'll be another one after that, and then got to get back on the long form content for the YouTube channel. Have some scripts finished for that, for videos on there as well. So yeah, just gotta finish recording and editing these videos.
There you go. All right, Nade, what's next for you?
I feel like everyone's talking about their next video, so I suppose I should do the same thing, right?
Just whatever you're up to these days, I don't know.
I mean, the next thing I'm probably going to do is not to plug, but it probably will be some kind of development update on CrossPlanet. I need to update people on things. It's been, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I try and do them every month. That'll be the next thing. Some cool stuff added. Vehicles, aircraft got added for the first time recently, so that's fun. New maps, new modes, stuff like that. So that's probably my next thing, just providing updates on that. I may try live stream on YouTube. A few people have asked me to do that, so maybe I'll try live streaming in the future as well. And other than that, find a job.
I got a great idea, Nade. So your trending video was about how you lost your job to AI, correct?
Yeah.
And you're looking for a job. Well, have you thought about applying to IKEA in Roblox?
Oh, I posted
because
this
they're
as
hiring.
well. I know.
And a lot of people talk about that right now. That could be a good video for you.
Could be. Yeah, I actually had a look at that job description just to see. There's only 10 positions, so I think it's very slim chance that you get the job.
You got
the experience, though.
I actually think that there's a bit of a like maybe a conspiracy behind that, and I think that they are trying to hire creators for that role, because when you go to apply for it, it's not like a typical job application. It asks you silly questions like, if we run out of hot dogs, then what would you serve, and stuff like that. And then at the end, it asks you to link as many of your social accounts as you can. There's like, do you have a Twitch? Do you have a YouTube? Do you have a TikTok? And I feel like that's not something that employees usually ask.
But you have
So I
all
think
of
that
them.
maybe they're
perfect.
maybe they're wanting creators.
Are they
to
expecting
do it.
people to just live stream their IKEA work
I
experience?
think they might be.
I'm
It's
in,
like
dude.
free
I might watch
marketing
these.
essentially.
Yeah, I might watch it.
That's content.
That is content.
But I
That
think
is-
I think it's content that does well. I used to watch a guy. I don't know if it made its way to the US, but there was a guy here in the UK who used to make shorts and live stream his day working at Subway, and that was all he did. And like they got millions of views. So
I get
Who
sometimes
might want to
people
watch
that.
somebody work at Subway?
I get TikToks of some guy that's like working at it. He like owns a convenience store, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I've seen
gonna be
people who work at,
honest.
like ice cream parlor and stuff like that. It's sometimes I'll just watch them.
I never eat at Subway in my town because the last time a friend worked there, they pulled the vegetables back out of the trash and used it for sandwiches in my little redneck town. So
What?
I don't have good experience with Subway right now.
Oh, Nate, I was gonna ask you. I saw you were beefing. You were beefing with
God.
with Blue
Blue
Drake.
Drake. Yeah, I won.
Yeah.
He folded. He blocked me on things. So I won.
Oh yeah, that's a dub right there, dude. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
his slop channel is it's slopping. Is it still uploading? I haven't looked at it again.
no, like I mean, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's get some internet beef. Maybe I can live off YouTube money for a few moments. He made an AI YouTube channel that was like, and he claimed it was 100% automated. So it would find a topic based on trending things. It would make a script. It would read that script in his voice that he cloned with 11 Labs AI, and then it would edit the video for him in like Premiere Pro, and then upload it to YouTube. And it was all 100% autonomous. He didn't touch a single thing. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. But he did have a channel that was uploading AI-created content. However, he received a lot of backlash, as you can imagine, from his fans, which, by the way, he has 1 million subscribers on his main channel, so there was a lot of backlash. And he went against them and continued making the content, and basically told his fans, hey, I don't care what you say, my reputation won't mean anything when the robot overlords take over, and stuff like that. And yeah, people think he's, I don't know, he's going through something. But in the end, he has actually deleted all of that content now, I check. Unless it's just marked as private. Maybe he didn't fully delete them, but the videos yesterday were not on his channel. All content was removed. So I think possibly he might have given in to the pressure. Yeah.
You're right, he did. Now it's a I don't know, there's some weird ass there's a video talking about you on here.
Oh,
Ooh, I
did he
gotta
actually
watch
keep that one up?
There's just a
Oh,
YouTube,
is it-
there's a
is it
video that
the-
just says this YouTuber lying to fans, and I just see your thumbnails everywhere.
Oh wow, so I haven't seen that one. He actually made a video about me a week ago called My Response to Nade Straight, and it was a 52-minute video. And me and my friends watched it, and I was mentioned for 13 seconds in that 52-minute video.
Oh, that's epic.
So he's rinsing me for views. He seems to be obsessed with me.
The comments,
which is funny because,
Hey,
God,
hey, you found your path. The reaction channel. There you go.
yeah, just beef with Blue Drake for like the next few months, and
Well,
you
I
know,
think
make a living from it.
I think we watched this video as a group. Hold on. Let me see if I still... Oh, yes, perfect.
Is it 52 minutes?
No, this one's only 7 minutes. He'll probably
I
like
bet
talk
he's
about
so
it or something.
excited about the
AI
new
stole his
AI
job.
YouTube
I
tools.
just lost my
But this
job.
guy's like, oh my god, thank you.
And I lost it
YouTube.
to AI.
But is that the truth, or is there another
No,
reason
it's
he was
not-
fired
so this
that
is
he
the-
doesn't
this is
want
the
you to know
AI
about?
channel.
Today
Yeah.
we're going to dive into the strange hypocrisy
Yeah, the
and
AI
odd
made a
behavior
video
of
about
content
you.
creator Nade Straight,
The
a
comments are
YouTuber
great.
who made a small
Hamburger
fortune
just
complaining
says,
about how
like,
he lost his
a little
job to
spiteful, aren't we,
AI
today,
and convincing his
Drake?
audience that
Watch
it
this
wasn't
channel.
his fault. However, after conducting our
Dude, I
own
can't-
research,
The fucking inflection of AI voices is so bad. It's like that old YouTube meme where you just like end every sentence as if it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, all right, today we're going to watch a video. Like, I don't know, the inflection's like so
Minecraft
Isn't that just your
YouTuber energy
normal
from
YouTube
back in
voice
the
now?
day.
Yeah, that is actually what I sound like when I make videos. My bad.
Oh.
All
I
right.
thought I had a rash video pulled up for a second.
All right, calm down.
It must be the Rage review.
Yeah, dude, I think I bring it back. I think I try and beat Rage for a video just to go full circle, and then I retire. That's the last thing I ever do. And I pull out that old mic because I still have it in the other room. All right, I think that's gonna do it for the pod. Nate, appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck with the YouTuber journey. I hope it works for you. If not, I hope you find a job here pretty quick. Other than that,
I'm confident I'll find a job.
there you go. Other than that, appreciate everyone for watching. I'll have the VOD up tomorrow-ish. Yeah, we'll be back in a couple weeks. Don't know who the guest will be. I imagine we'll probably mostly talk about the Xbox showcase. Yeah, I think. On Sunday, I'm gonna stream the Xbox showcase. I think Jared might join. PopQ, you're welcome to join if you'd like. If you're around. But yeah, so tune in for the old Xbox showcase. We'll do a little watch party action. And when Halo comes on, we'll go, oh my god, is that Halo? And we'll get really animated. We'll get lots of views, and yeah, and then I'll be famous. So that's actually the whole
Hell
game plan. If that doesn't work, it's over. So all right, goodbye everyone.
Later.